Yup, Famicom here again, and we've got another Garo issue flip through and run through. So this is another one of my favorite Garo issues. So it's 1969 May with a cover by Shirato Sanpei, because of course in here we are still in the era where Kamui-den is running. So there's Kamui-den chapter 50 here. And at the time of recording, there was some amazing news that came out from what was like Anime NYC or something. Drawn in Quarterly have announced that they will be publishing Kamui-den, not Kamui Gaiden, Kamui-den in English in 10 volumes. So this is like a monumental uh, sort of achievement. I would say achievement for the English market in terms of Gekiga and alternative manga. So highly, I'm very hyped for that. Looking out for that because I've never read Kamui-den. I've seen chapters of it in all the Garo issues that I have, but never read it. So super excited for that. Keep an eye out. But yeah, for this issue, we've got stacked lineup. So Kamui-den Chapter 50 by Shirato Sanpei, Kasako Jizo by Nagashima Shinji, Flowering Harbour by Hayashi Seiichi, Giant Elephant Part 2 by Sasaki Maki, Manhunt by Tsuge Tadao, As I Think, I believe it's translated as Hirowa Satsu, which I've never heard of before. But yeah, so starting things off, we have the usual Kamui chapter, very long chapters. Normally, they always come first in the magazine because, of course, the magazine Garo was created to publish this. So you've got a character list and some color pages. So I'll just do a flip through. I don't know the story of Kamui-den, but the art is always amazing to look at. Very hectic, a lot of action going on, but very, very excited that this is finally coming into English after so long, because I believe it was Viz that did it wasn't the original Kamui-den. Although they labeled it as Kamui-den, the actual story was Kamui Gaiden, which I believe is a side story of Kamui, which they released in English ages and ages ago, sometime in 2000s, I think. Um, but yeah, they touted it Kamui-den, but it wasn't Kamui-den, which is a little bit confusing. But that's the only instance of anything related to Kamui-den being published in English. I know definitely in other languages there are there have been translations of Kamui-den, but for English readers specifically, not much. And in general, like Shirato Sanpei, I don't think he has anything else in English at that moment. At the moment, maybe there have been in the past, but I can't think of any right now. But yeah, very, very exciting stuff. I believe it was like an estimated date of like fall 2024, something like that. But yeah, a very big series to have finally translated into English. Great stuff, great stuff. Yeah, so I'll flick through this a little bit more quickly, but the art and the motion is great. Here we've got a face off between two characters, which I don't know. Having this in person is so nice. Damn. Oh, action is on point for this. Yeah, very hyped, very hyped. Like from the Kamui chapters that I've seen throughout Garo, There seems to be so much happening. Looks super interesting. And it's so important for Garo as a whole. So, yeah. Alright, I'll quickly flip through the rest. Go. Yeah, you notice that very long chapter, 70 pages, I believe. Does it go to 100? Maybe. Oof. That is clean. What a clean background. There you go. So yeah, very long chapters. 80 pages here, but of course, Shirato Sanpei had his production team working on it too, so it wasn't just him like doing the whole thing solo. Okay, so the next story we have is by Nagashima Shinji titled Kasako Jizo. Jizo as in like Jizo statue from the Dansan collection, which I believe is his folktale collection. This one is probably my favorite story from Nagashima out of all the chapters that I've read so far. We follow a couple living in their home and they make straw hats for a living. And so the husband is tasked with selling the straw hats at a nearby village, but it begins to snow, and you can see the Jizo statues in the background. It begins to snow, he reaches the town, and oh, this is so nice. I don't really see much, well, at least from what I've read, I don't see many double page spreads for Nagashima's work. But there he is, just singing as he walks through the village with the other merchants there. Amazing double page spread. But yeah, he goes around, tries to sell some of his straw hats, but he can't really find anyone who is willing to buy his straw hats. So he goes home a bit dejected, couldn't really sell anything. But the wind picks up and a blizzard starts to happen, and he passes by the statues. And he thinks, well, you guys might be a little bit cold. I didn't sell any, so let me just give you the rest of the straw hats that we made and didn't sell. And ran out, but he still gave his little scarf, headscarf thing to the remaining statue. Right, so he goes home, goes back to his wife, couldn't really say anything, unfortunately. But in the night, the Jizo statues come alive. And they sing the same song that he was singing. And they are like dragging a whole sled of presents and gifts. And so they hear a bang. The couple looks out and they find barrels of like food or like vegetables, something like that. And in the distance, the Jizo statues return. So, pretty much a gift of gratitude from the Jizo statues to the man who had taken care of them in the blizzard and gave them the straw hats. A very, very wholesome story. And here we go, these 6 statues chilling in the sun after the blizzard. Quite a wholesome story, and my favorite of everything Nagashima that I've read so far. So there you go, simple and wholesome. So that was that. Moving on past this essay, we've got Flowering Harbour by Hayashi Seiichi, which was published in English by breakdown press, if I'm correct, if I recall correctly. I'll have to check that and make sure in the description. But yes, this is a one shot that was published in English by itself as a little sort of book. And straight off the bat, we get started with a very somber tone, the wind or the rain or whatever it is. And this woman here who's like the owner of a bar, she's closing up shop. And there's this man sitting in the bar. Very creepy face thing as well. But essentially what this is that this is the owner of the bar, her daughter, and a random customer who comes in during the storm or the rain or whatever it was. And they're strangers, but he sleeps in their house for a little bit because he has nowhere to go. But yeah, through their chance meeting, they get a little bit closer. And it's revealed the past of this barmaid here is revealed. You know, she had her husband had left her. He was from Tokyo, and the man here, we also don't really know much about him, but we can tell, you know, he's probably he's feeling this sort of same dread and despair the woman is feeling too. So that sort of bonds them together. Yeah. Very, very somber tones for this story. It's quite sad. Um, but in the storm, the barmaid goes out and tries to find the guy, thinking that he is going to, you know, take his own life. But he doesn't, and he follows her back to the bar, the pub, and they both lament over the past. So quite a sad story. But yeah, finally it is time to go. He has to leave on a ship, but before that, she gives him a thread or a rope. It is probably symbolic of something, maybe like, I don't know if it's red, because I know a red thread or string represents like something in Japanese culture. But they bid farewell to each other. But it is a very, very sad farewell. Two strangers who don't know anything about each other but are bonded by the same feeling of dread and despair. Quite a sad one of my favorite Hayashi stories that I've read. But yeah, Hayashi, especially in this chapter, the backgrounds, they're so simple but so effective. Like you can see all of the, I don't know if it's actually wind or rain, I can't really tell. Whatever it is, it works very well to establish the mood of the story. So yeah, that was Flowering Harbour. Next, we have Giant Elephant by Sasaki Maki. So this is chapter 2. So I don't know what is going on at all, but this is probably the craziest artwork that I've seen from Sasaki to this date, from what I've read. So yeah, sorry, I can't really comment on the story because it's chapter 2 and none of the dialogue makes sense to me. But Sasaki Maki, the famed nonsense mangaka, the imagery is insane in all of his works. Yeah, I don't know what's happening, but we have a man traversing a very weird space. Horses are talking to him. You know, it's extremely weird. Don't know what's going on, but it's so fun to flick through. 100%. Go. There's this ghost I've seen before in some of his other works, I believe. I feel like I have seen it. Maybe it's a recurring thing, but look at that. surreal, strange, and wonderful stuff. And yeah, I guess this is the giant elephant in question. It's got like, it looks dried up. It's like wrinkled. I don't know. Oh, it's so captivating. Like this elephant in particular. Seems that I don't know what's happening here, but yeah, they've got like a ghost companion, some talking horses, random people everywhere. Now you've got like another elephant that is like blown up, like full of air or something. Very big contrast to the withered, wrinkly elephant here. But damn, amazing art, amazing art. Yeah, if you are into the weird, the wacky, the nonsensical, go to Sasaki Maki for that. Yeah, Sasaki Maki has only had, I believe, one English release in the past, which was Ding Dong Circus. Long out of print, sadly. I don't know how many years ago it was, but yeah, I believe that's the only English release of Sasaki that we've ever had. Ryan Holmberg has written like a couple of essays on him as well. They're pretty good. But yeah, that was Sasaki Maki. Next, we have some Susumu Katsumata short works, yonkoma works, which to be honest, I don't really like these too much. They're not my thing. But some of them are relevant to the political landscape at that time. But he also put a story in here called Yuki Onna, so the Snow Woman, which is like a legend of a woman that I think it like takes advantage. There's different variations, but they take advantage of people lost in the snow. Well, in this case, it's like a a different story with the Snow Woman living with Bigfoot, and like they work together to kidnap and eat people. And yeah, pretty much they're like roommates. They're kind of roommates or partners. I'm not really sure, but they live together in the same cave, and they have a dream of like moving to another country, that sort of thing. Yeah, that was very short from Susumu. And now we move on to a story called Omoeba Toku by Hirowa Satsu. So I've never heard of this person before, never seen their works. And reading this story, I had zero idea of what was going on. So unfortunately, I can't really explain the story, but I do know it's a very like philosophical and like introspective story. So and the art here is amazing, especially the layout, the way the entire story and all the panels are laid out. So this is the opening panel. Got like a family, and zooms out to a man on a cliff. But yeah, take a look at the layout of this chapter. So it goes right to left, up to down, and there's like little squares of text mixed in with long vertical strips, mixed in with more squares of artwork. So yeah, this one blew me away. I don't understand anything that's going on here, but the art itself is amazing. And yeah, it does give off very like introspective vibes, reflecting, maybe this character's reflecting on the past or something. I'm not too entirely sure. I am just guessing right now. But yeah, very unique layout. Oh, this one's amazing as well. It's like the contrast between the black and white, the flowing hair, like the negative space. Oh, it's so good. It is so good. Yeah, I wish I could understand what was happening here. And I'm not sure if they've put out any other works in Garo. I do have to check that. But I hope they did. I hope they did. Ah, here we go. The big double page spread of the man's face blending into the rock face and the waves. Crazy stuff. But yeah, I do hope they have they put out more chapters in Garo so I can hunt them down, because I love this type of stuff, like the artwork and the overall tone of the story, despite not understanding what it's about. I 100% vibe with this. There's a zoom in, some detail. And looks like we're ending off at the same place we started with the start of the story. If I were to just quickly go back to that, this was the start, family to the bird, and then there's the end, bird to the family, and that's the end of the story. Right. So great. I can't say if it's a great story or not, but amazing art, definitely, 100%. And then last but not least, I believe this is the last one, a story by Tsuge Tadao titled Manhunt. So this one is in the Trash Market English release by, I believe it was Drawn Quarterly. Yes, Drawn Quarterly. Yeah, so this is the English version where this chapter appears. So you can read that if you can find Trash Market, which we'll just cover that. Yes, I'll just skip that over. Yeah, essentially it follows a man who, well, has disappeared and reappeared all of a sudden, and two detectives are sort of questioning him on, here's the man here who disappeared, why he disappeared, and it's based on the Johatsu phenomenon that was seen in Japan, where people would just leave their homes, leave their jobs for extended periods of time without telling anyone, sometimes disappearing completely, which was like a product of, or a byproduct of, I believe it was post-war Japan, the post-war, the effects on society at that time. Another story that focuses on the same phenomenon, Johatsu phenomenon, is the Ruined Map by Kobo Abe, which I didn't like as much, personally, but it is focused on the same thing with someone disappearing for no reason, and sort of detectives trying to find them, which I can pull the book out later. But yeah, it is a very interesting look into why people disappear, and the entire, like, the outlook on life and all that type of stuff. This is a pretty good one, pretty good story. But yeah, that is the end of this Garo issue, ending it off with Tsuge Tadao, and I will just quickly pull out the book by Kobo Abe that I was talking about. Just give me 1 second. Where is it? Here it is. Kobo Abe, The Ruined Map. This is the one I'm talking about. Penguin Modern Classics. So Kobo Abe is known for his very absurd, Kafka-esque tale. People do they sometimes label him as like the Kafka of Japan, which is like, in my opinion, sometimes it's true, but he has his very own spin to it, so it's not entirely true. But here you go. Here's the back of it. Yeah, this story in general, wouldn't say I enjoyed it fully. It was very confusing. Um, but I just wanted to pull it up because it is related to the Johatsu phenomenon that Manhunt focuses on in Tsuge Tadao's story. Yeah, so there's a little bit of a tangent, but that was the full flick through of Garo 1969 May issue number 50 with a cover of Shirato Sanpei. So definitely one of the best Garo issues I have read, and one of my favorites to date. But yeah, there you go. So that was today's episode with another Garo flick through. I do definitely want to go, like, I want to make this like a series where I just take a Garo issue that I like and do a flip through of it, explain some of the stories, and showcase the range that Garo has in their sort of catalog, because more people need to know about Garo. 100%. My obsession for the past year or so. But yeah, that'll be it for today. Definitely want to do more of these Garo flip throughs in the future. So if you have any like suggestions or any specific decades or issues you want to see me go through, hit me up, comment, whatever, and I'll do my best. Yeah, thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Bye.